Alrighty, CNT120, we are looking at our Chapter 2 lab. Right off the bat, just a heads up, online students and on-campus students, this week your Chapter 2 lab is identical. So right now I'm actually on the on-campus D2L page, but online people, your lab and your packet trace and everything is going to look identical, okay? So just a little heads up on that. You'll want to go to the do area. Again, here's the on-campus lab for on-campus lab people, but online people, you open the online folder, download a copy of the directions. When you do, you'll have this page right here, and as you'll see, the direction page says campus and online, okay? You'll then download the packet tracer file. Okay, once I've downloaded that, and actually for me, I put them in I have a CNT120 folder, and I made a CNT or Chapter 2 lab folder, and I have those files in there. That way I can find them and get to them easily. I've opened that packet tracer file, and when I do, I get this layout. I have my Harrisburg site, Philadelphia site, some workstations, some servers. Again, this will look identical for both online and on-campus people. Now that I have those up and ready, let me kind of minimize my browser here in the background. Okay, we'll take a look at our direction page. This lab is actually like 3 pieces. We're going to do some cabling and packet tracer. As I scroll down further, part 2, we're going to do a diagram in a program, draw.io, and then we'll do another diagram in draw.io. So that's kind of like our 3 pieces. So starting off, I'm looking at the packet tracer portion, and we are going to cable up this network, because as you see now, there's no connections for the host here and the connections for the host here. So we are going to do the infrastructure, cabling infrastructure part in our packet tracer file. And that's going to require 3 connections. Horizontal cabling from the patch panel out to the outlet. We will then need a patch cable in the closet that goes from the patch panel to the switch. And then we will need a patch cable out in the work area that goes from the outlet to the PC. That's what we'll need. So the first thing I have you do is you're looking at the logical view right now. We're going to go to the physical view. Okay. And when we go to the physical view, we see the Harrisburg site and the Philly city, if you will, the Harrisburg city and the Philly city. Let's open the Harrisburg. And again, I might need to scroll or navigate to see this building, but there's the building, and I can zoom in and out. I can use the plus sign here or the magnifying glass up here and zoom out and find it. There's the building. I'm going to click on the building, and I now get, again, I can zoom out. Here's a close-up of the building. There's the closet, and there's an office that we're going to wire up. So I'm going to wire up this outlet box in the office back to the closet, and then put a patch cable here and put a patch cable in the closet. So to start off with, let's cable the outlet box here to the closet. To do so, I'm going to grab a connection here, and I'm going to grab the straight through cable, this straight through the black solid line there. And actually, let me do this a little bit. There we go. I can see. Let me slide this down a scotch. There we go. Now we can see the connection here. As I hold it over here, it's going to show copper straight through down there. That's what we want. And I'm going to connect here from the outlet box into the closet. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to click on the box, and I need the punch down, because I'm actually going to punch down from here to the closet. I'm going to click on the closet, and I'm going to choose the rack, and I'm going to choose the patch panel, and I'm going to do punch down 1. So I'm going to go 1 to 1, and then I'm going to repeat this for the other 3 outlet jacks that are here. Click on it again, go punch down 2, go to the closet, go to the rack patch panel. I'm going to go punch down 2, and then I'm going to repeat for 3 and 4. Punch down 3, click on the closet, rack patch panel, punch down 3, and again, that way I have everything organized. You know, port 1 to 1 kind of thing, 2 to 2, and so forth. Okay, so there is my port 4. So this outlet box is cabled back to the closet. So my first part of the cabling is done. The next part of the cabling we are going to do is the closet patch cables. So over here, I'm going to click on the closet. And when I do, I get a view of the closet equipment. There's some shelves over here. Here's my equipment rack here. There's a table here. I'm going to zoom in on the equipment rack, because that's what I need to cable up. And I'll hit it twice here so I can zoom in. There's the router here. Here's the switch, and here's the patch panel. These green wires are the horizontal cabling I just wired up. So I'm now going to patch from the patch panel into the switch. And let me zoom in a little bit further. There we go. Good. This is port 1, port 2, port 3 comes up over here, and then port 4 here. So it's, you know, odds on top, evens on bottom. So I'm going to grab a straight through patch cable down here, and I'm going to go from port 1, I'm going to click on it here, and I'm going to go to port 1 here, and that'll cable that in. And I'm keeping everything organized, 1 to 1 to 1, and 2 to 2 to 2, and so forth. I'm going to do jack 2 up here down to port 2 on the switch. That's on the bottom. I'm going to do jack 3 up here to jack, port 3 on the switch. And I'm going to do jack 4 here to port 4 on the switch. So we now have the second connection in our network done, our cable network done here. We're now going to do the patch cables in the work area. So let me scroll down a little bit further. There's our closet patch cables. Now we'll do the work area patch cables. So I'm going to navigate back. I'm going to use this little back button here. And now I have these connections I'll need to make. So I'm going to zoom in here. I'm going to scroll over to find the office. There's the laptop and the Harrisburg PC. So I'm going to grab a straight through cable and go from the PC NIC, Fast Ethernet NIC, and I'll go into jack 1, if you will. I now see a blinky link light. I see a link light there that it's connected up. I'll connect on the patch cable or the laptop here, Fast Ethernet 0. That's the network card. I'll go to the outlet box and go to jack 2. Again, I'll see a link light here. All right. If I had more computers in the office or devices, I would cable them up similarly. Now, before I go any further, let's now take a peek at things. And I'm not sure I have it written in the directions here, but let's take a peek at things. I'm going to go out a level here. Here's my city again. Here's my building. I'm going to go to the logical real quickly and show you that they're now cabled up, but it's all of the horizontal cabling and the 2 patch cables that got us to that switch. So it is cabled up, and I actually do have a link, a layer 1 link light, if you will. All right. Now, let's pick on the desktop, and we want to set up the client settings for this to actually connect. And actually, before I do that, I don't want to forget to, I'm going to save my packet tracer file. I'll do a save as, and I'm going to call this, for me, I'm going to call it my demo, or we can do a working. For me, I'm going to do demo. That way I know it's my demo file. So I still have the original one there. If anything ever happens, just reload that original file and just kind of start over if you get connections out of alignment or whatever. All right, now we'll go back to our directions here. So we'll open up the Harrisburg laptop desktop IP configuration. So we'll go Harrisburg laptop. We'll go to the desktop here. We'll go to IP configuration, and we want to make sure it's set for DHCP. So right now in the network, this router up here is configured to hand out IP addressing via DHCP. So if I set this PC to DHCP, it should be picking up an IP. If all of my connections are good, there's a pathway to that router. This laptop will ask the router, hey, please give me an IP, and the router will hand it one through DHCP. And I do actually get one filled in. So I now have, if I think about it, layer 1 connection up to the switch. That was all the cables. My network card is working. That's my layer 2. And now I have an IP address, which is layer 3. So I should have connectivity on this network with this laptop or with this PC. So we're going to open the browser and try to open the website that's at the other side, or the other site, if you will, the Philadelphia site. There is a web server over there. So we're going to try to go back to the desktop here, open the web browser, and I'm going to try to browse to that website. So give it a second. You can do it, little computer. And we'll do www.cnt.org. And I'll do go. I might need to wait a second or two, and it should find its way over to that server. Excuse me. And it did. It loaded the web page. So now we know layer 4 to 7, if you will, is functioning. So all my layers are functioning. Excellent. I have connectivity over to that web server. Whoop, whoop. I'm going to repeat that for, looks like I did the laptop first instead of the desktop. So now I'll do the desktop. I got them out of order, but we're getting them there. We'll go to desktop here, IP config. We'll go to DHCP. It's going to ask for an IP. If I have all the cabling right, I'm getting an IP address. Awesome, awesome. I'll close that and go to the desktop here and go to my web browser, and I'll try to browse to that server that's over there. You can do it. www.cnt.org. and I get the web page load. So I now know 4 to 7, layers 4 to 7 on that PC are functioning. Okay, excellent. We're doing good so far. Now, if for any reason this does not work, go back to your physical tab and make sure you have a connection from here in to the box. Go back to your closet real quick. Make sure you have a connection here. If I need to replace any of these, okay, if I use the little delete key here, I do need to be careful, but if I click on just one cable, it'll pull that out, and I can redo that connection. Grab another patch cable and redo that if it's in a wrong port or something like that. Okay, that would be an easy way to fix. So if I need to repeat any of those, do that. All right, we now have the Harrisburg side done. We're going to repeat this for the Philly side. So let me go here. I'm going to back out. Let's go to Philadelphia, and we're going to do the exact same process over here. So here's the outlet box down there. So let me try to make it so we can see. So I'm going to do my straight through cable from the box here, punch down 1, click on the closet, rack, patch panel, punch down 1, and I'm going to repeat that for 2, punch down 2, closet, rack, patch panel, punch down 2, and 3 and 4. Punch down 3, go to the rack, go to punch down 3, and we'll do here 4, punch down 4, closet, patch panel, punch down 4. So there's the horizontal cabling done. We'll go to the closet and we will cable. I need to zoom out a little bit. This one has, I'm going to zoom out one more step. This one has the router. It has a couple servers here. Okay, there's our servers, but there's my patch panel on my switch. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in on that patch panel and switch, and just like I did in the other closet, I'm going to go port 1 to 1. So we'll go port 1 up here to port 1 here, and remember port 2 is below, so port 2, we're going to go down here to 2, then we'll go 3 to 3, and then we will go 4 to 4. That, the closet connection is done. Let's go back to the work area out here. I will zoom in a little bit on this one. I think I'll go one more. There we go. And now we'll do the patch cable between the PC and the outlet jack. NIC fast Ethernet 0 here, and I will go to jack 1, and I should be seeing a link light show up, and I do. We'll go laptop Ethernet 0 here over to my jack 2, and again I see a link light appear here. If I go view my logical tab, I should see those cabled in. Whoop, whoop. Okay. I'm going to go back to physical here, back to where I am, and then I'm going to do the client connectivity test. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to open the desktop on this, adjust the IP config settings over to DHCP. Again, it should be picking up, in this case, an IP from the DHCP server in the rack in this network. All right. If it didn't respond the first time, that's okay. We're going to replace that and let it run again, and we do see it pick up an IP address this time. Okay, so don't let that panic you. Just kind of retoggle it. Once I have that, I'll open my browser and I'll try to browse to that CNT.org again. And I'm going to do the same thing on the laptop here in just a second. You can do it, little browser. www.cnt.org. And it loads, whoop, whoop, so I know I have full layer connectivity there. I'm going to go to the laptop now, and I'm going to repeat that same process, IP config. I'm going to do dynamic, DHCP, it picks up an IP address. Again, if it does not, cycle it back to static and DHCP, and it should pick one up for you. And then I'll go to my web browser, and I'll try my CNT.org again. You can do, little browser. www.cnt.org, and I get a connection there. Excellent. So now I have both sites. Let me close this out, and I'm actually going to go back here to logical. I have both sites cabled up, and I have connection through the network over to the web server that happens to be over here. All right, we'll come back in the next podcast and finish this up and gather our results.